KIPP is an institution that cares about the entire child.
KIPP has really opened my mind to what the possibilities out there in the world are.
When I think of KIPP, I think of family, I think of community, I think of encouragement.
Our vision. Every child grows up free to create the future they want
for themselves and their communities.
To me, growing up free mean you could do anything that you put your mind to. You shouldn't have any boundaries or have anything stop you from being who you are.
From the moment you're born, you're kind of like put into chains, or like what society wants you to be, or the norms that society says that you should follow or that you can't do. So free is like you're free from the norms, free from stereotypes. You can just be you and thrive as a person.
I really love the part that says create the future that they want. Students think to be successful, there's only certain career paths that they need to make to ensure that they're successful. And so really redefining what success means to ensure that our students choose something that makes them happy and fulfills what they hope to achieve even after graduation.
Our mission. Together with families and communities,
we create joyful,
academically excellent schools
that prepare students with the skills and confidence to pursue
the paths they choose, college, career, and beyond,
so they can lead fulfilling lives
and build a more just world.
we want to teach kids that the world that we have is not as just as it needs to be. They need to know how they can help change it. And I think that everything that we do should be intentional in building a more just world, a more just society.
Every parent wants the best for their child and community. The KIPP of today is very much focused on expanding into the communities and not just being within the four walls of the school, but actually personifying the idea of holistic community development.
The fact that this mission is not just focused on academics, it's also focused on making sure that there's joy in the community, joy in the school, joy in the classrooms between not just the teacher, but the student as well. That part really stands out to me.
A joyful school would look like people connecting, people sharing and talking about their emotions, helping each other, and lots of laughter and lots of empathy as well.
I love that the word confidence is in it. Growing up, that was something I had to develop, and there was moments where I had to do it on my own. And by doing that already from such a young age, it's like you already know what you bring to the table and you own it.
College, career, and beyond to me means that students know that anything is accessible to them, that education is very important, whether they get education through traditional schooling or whether they get education through experiences or more hands-on learning, that education is not just a thing that happens in schools, but it's a mindset about our world.
It's more than a job, it's more than being rich. It's not about that. It's just about living a good life, being nice to people. Probably what will make my life fulfilling to me was reaching my goal to be the first Latino president and helping out my family.
I think it is absolutely important that going into every room now, KIPP stands on these legs of freedom, of justice, of choice, of building a more just world and allowing kids to have a more fulfilling life.
One, two, three, eyes on me. If you can hear me, clap one. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap three.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed that display of KIPPster talent. My name is Christy Michaels and I'm one of the principals at KIPP Austin Beacon Prep. Today I have the pleasure of introducing one of our own little KIPPsters, Iset. She's one of the many examples of how perceptiveness and resiliency within our students never ceases to amaze or inspire us. I hope you enjoy it. Are you ready?
used to be shy. I didn't want people to hear my voice, afraid that they'll discover my English wasn't perfect. I preferred to stay quiet, noticed but not seen. But KIPP has given me confidence. I've been a KIPPster for 6 years now, and we are pushed every single day to express ourselves. In my writing classes and in my art and theater classes, I have learned that words and feelings don't all have to be locked away. I have a voice, so I'm going to try here in this letter to unlock myself, to let my words out and you in. This year has been really hard, but I know you already know that. There's so many things I miss. I miss hugging people so much it hurts. There are times when I feel like everything has changed too fast, that I don't even remember what normal is or if we'll ever get back to it. And I have so many feelings jumbled inside, I feel as if I might burst. But I also know that this year isn't only about challenges. Our teachers have taught us to look at things from different perspectives, and when I turn this pandemic year around and around in my head and try to see it from another point of view, I see love. The cafeteria workers still smile. Their mouths are hidden behind masks, but I can tell by their eyes they're happy to see us. My bus driver, Miss Sasha, still has so much patience, even with my little brother. The front office workers, although they're busy taking temperatures and checking people in, still have jokes to share with students. The custodians still recognize almost every single student by name. My school principal is one of the most hard-working people I know. And students and teachers still make every day fun. A year ago, our world changed. We used to connect in very different ways, but now, even through a computer screen, the connection is still there, strong as ever. COVID hasn't broken our sense of community, it has built it, and I have never been more proud to be a KIPPster.
Good evening, everyone, and let's hear it one more time for Isette. She's an incredible ambassador for what we do every day in our community at KIPP. My name is Justin Scott, and I'm the Regional Superintendent for KIPP Texas Austin. I'm honored that you could join us this evening to support KIPP and learn more about the work we're engaged in here in our great city. This is my 12th year teaching, learning, and leading at KIPP. I started at KIPP as a 5th grade reading interventionist in 2008 after having taught for years in East Austin. After teaching pre-K and kindergarten in East Austin and watching my students fall behind as they got older, I was frustrated and angry because the kids I taught in East Austin were a reflection of me in many ways. My first language was Spanish. I grew up in poverty in North Seattle, and I struggled in school growing up, and I was an exception in my neighborhood as the first person in my family to graduate from college. I was a KIPPster who needed KIPP before there was KIPP. So as a teacher, decades later, seeing my children in a similar situation, it was untenable, and I didn't know what to do, and that's when KIPP and I found each other. I taught at KIPP Austin College Prep, was the founding principal at our first primary school, KIPP Austin Comunidad, and now I serve as the regional superintendent for a community I love dearly. I am privileged to co-create a learning experience that prepares all children to meet their potential in life of opportunity, pre-K through the 12th grade. It's possible for all of our kids, regardless of zip code, regardless of race, or how much money families have in their bank accounts. And your support this evening helps make that mission, that vision, and this community possible. Thank you for helping us to prove what is possible for all of our kids. In Austin, we educate close to 5,500 students with close to 100 teammates, and that work this year has required everything we have. Our mission and vision is alive and well, and our teachers, leaders, and staff has shown up for our students, for our families, and for each other in ways that I am still processing. And this year has been brutal for our families, our kids, and our staff. Our team has pivoted during COVID in how we teach, when we teach, where we teach, and how we just do it all. The pandemic, winter storm, and other challenges have negatively impacted our kids, families, and communities hardest in Austin. And this year has required a focus on learning and, more than ever, a focus on care, community, empathy, and partnerships. So, while what we're here for and why we exist hasn't changed, how we do it is different, and in some cases, it's more important. Our team and our family continue to devote countless hours to provide the social, emotional, and economic resources necessary to ensure we see all of our kids, we listen to them and their parents, and we meet them where they are. Our relationships with our community and families are now stronger than they've ever been. Next year, we will welcome more than 98% of our students back for another year. Maintaining academic excellence is our cornerstone, and finding ways to support families to keep the lights on at home and going the extra mile to tutor families on how to access school virtually has been critical as well. Our region is fully one-to-one in that all of our students have devices and are equipped and skilled to learn virtually. That is a silver lining that we don't want to lose moving forward. Our KIPP through College program continues to be the best-in-class program that ensures all of our KIPPsters graduate from college once they get there. COVID has been especially hard on our kids as they work to decide whether college is right for them at this time. We're seeing KIPP through College become an even more necessary support for our students with strong application numbers already and strong persistence for our kids who are in college. There are also several KIPP alumni who are currently working at our schools part-time to make money to support their families while they're in college. And KIPP through College is now supporting our students with career guidance because we have found that students who are graduating from college are finding it difficult to get a job in their field. Bottom line, we stay with our kids all the way. Coming out of such a challenging season, one thing remains certain: our mission has never been more important, more urgent, and more possible. Going into next year, we will welcome more students at KIPP Paseo Primary and KIPP Paseo Prep as those schools continue to grow. We will welcome pre-K students to all of our primary schools. We will support a new cohort of seniors transitioning to and through college and career. We will continue to develop and recognize and reward excellence in the most important profession on this earth, the profession of teaching, through our teacher career pathway, which focuses on teacher retention and success through development by recognizing excellence. I don't want to underplay how difficult this year and season has been for our team and family. Our staff and teachers are not superhuman. They sometimes believe they can be, but they are not superhuman. They are extraordinary human beings. And even extraordinary humans need grace, time, coaching, resources, support, love, and care. So, celebrating individual teacher success and contributions is even more critical as we move into next year. The teacher career pathway is intended to reward teachers who choose to remain in the classroom to make their impact on students in the long term. And Austin is trailblazing this work in KIPP, Texas. This evening, I want to introduce 3 of our master teachers as identified by the teacher career pathway. Master teachers are masters of their teaching craft and consistently have extraordinary results with all of our kids. They articulate a vision for student performance that puts kids on a track to life of choice. Sharice Ader, from KIPP Austin Academy of Arts and Letters, has been with us for 12 years. Amy Holtman, from KIPP Austin College Prep, started her journey 17 years ago with us. And Nadia Abdallah is a teacher at KIPP Paseo Primary, and we will be highlighting her story this evening quite a bit more. Nadia taught at KIPP for 4 years before the teacher career pathway began across KIPP Texas Austin. Given her experience and by recommendation of her school leader, she was able to advance beyond Tier 1 and Tier 2 and was placed in the 3rd tier, the advanced teacher tier. And now, coming to a close on her 8th year with KIPP, she has been able to achieve the 5th and final placement tier, Master Teacher, and was a recent recipient of a $10,000 gift along with the National KIPP Harriet Ball Excellence in Teaching Award. While she feels she had received continuous support from her school leader, this program provided a structured way of teachers being observed, providing feedback, and acknowledging the growth of teachers in the field. We are so proud of her accomplishments and her impact. Again, the support for our teachers, growing schools, families and kids, and our community would not be possible without your support today and in the future. In our world, hope can be somewhat challenging to see and hold on to. And yet, hope and optimism is what drives us every day. Your support today is an expression of hope and optimism. It's an expression of belief. Thank you for your support tonight. Thank you for support over time. And thank you for believing in us. And now, over to Nadia to hear more about her experience as a master teacher.
Thank you, Justin. Hi, everyone. My name is Nadia Abdallah. I'm here to share my story with you. I come from a family of businessmen and women. Needless to say, I heard a lot of skepticism about my choice to become an educator. Nadia, you won't make any money. How will you support yourself? You're going to struggle. But I knew where my heart belonged, in the classroom. My first teaching experience, like many others, was extremely challenging. In fact, if I hadn't left my first teaching job, I'm not sure that I would still be teaching today. For 3 years, I had to supplement my income with a second job because I couldn't afford not to. A friend recommended that I look into KIPP as they were up and coming in Austin. After doing some research on KIPP and learning that it was a national public charter school network, that it was growing and the demographic they served, I was hooked. I instantly felt a connection with the school leader, Nicole Selman. I could see her passion and the care she had for our students and community when she spoke about the vision and her school and what we were going to build together as a team. I'm not sure what she saw on the other side of the table, but she liked it enough to hire me on the spot as a lead first grade teacher. So there I was, learning, teaching, and opening a school alongside 17 other educators. It was by no means easy. Every day was a 10, 11-hour day. There were many days when I cried. There were moments when I thought I might not be cut out for this. However, through the whole experience, I had the support of my school leader and peers. Like our students, we all learn differently. For me, I learned by observing, then implementing. There was a time in my first year when I was struggling more than a typical classroom, and it was apparent that I needed help. Nicole asked to step in and take over my class for a day. She wanted to give me the opportunity to watch, observe, learn, and process. It was a turning point in my career. It was the time and learning I needed to understand how I could leverage my strengths and the work I was already doing in a better, more manageable way for myself and, more importantly, my KIPPsters. Back then, the teacher career pathway had not been established, so my observations continued. And everything that was done was out of Nicole's knowledge of what her teachers needed and guidance from the KIPP academics team, and in turn became crucial building blocks in helping me become a better teacher. It was also during my first year that I realized how important building relationships with families is in my field of work. I had students in displaced homes, kids who struggled with emotional coping skills, and a whole plethora of diverse obstacles beyond the classroom. There was always more to be taught than your typical reading, writing, and math. When planning my lessons, I had to take into consideration how each student would process new content while still ensuring that their well-being was taken care of and my kids felt safe. I knew that my classroom needed to be the constant in their lives. I learned to leverage my strengths in relationship building to go beyond my students and invest time and effort into their families. It was and is one of the most important aspects of being an effective educator.
What do I like about Ms. Abdallah's teaching style? Where do I start? My twin girls came to be in the same class because when school started virtually, it was difficult to keep up with two different teachers. Prior to this, I had already fallen in love with Ms. Abdallah because of her kindness. She brought both girls' school supplies to my front door at the beginning of the year when my husband and I got sick with COVID. It was so considerate. She was very communicative, especially when school started and they were virtual. The technology they were using was new to me, and she walked me through how to access the website, upload their homework, and everything in between. From the very beginning, she established that line of communication to help the students feel a support system in every part of their lives. Her message was clear that no matter what, when the students work hard, they celebrate. When they make mistakes, we all pause, we reflect, we talk it out, and work on doing better. I can see the girls love her, and they love the consistency and safety they feel in the classroom and at home. I'm so proud of Miss Abdallah and to be able to have my girls being taught by a master teacher.
While I had received continuous support from my school leader, this program provided a structured way of teachers being observed, providing feedback, and acknowledging the growth of teachers in the field. I know that I would not have garnered the experience and the knowledge I now have if it weren't for the observation opportunities I was given through the Teacher Career Pathway program. I don't think it's a secret that many of us teachers do not go into the profession for the monetary compensation of the position. If anything, we are often discouraged by others from becoming teachers. Ultimately, we teachers become and remain in this field because we care. Teachers who are dedicated to the classroom, go above and beyond, and continue to show their growth can now receive the acknowledgement they well deserve. This program allows teachers like me who want to stay in the classroom the income to do so and the opportunity to continue to develop our craft. For me personally, this has been a true blessing since it has allowed me to be in a financial position to purchase my own home, an accomplishment I did not anticipate when I first began teaching. The way KIPP ensures that teachers are uniquely trained and then properly compensated for the hard work we do, nurturing the young minds of our society, is just another reason I'm proud to work at KIPP. Lastly, I need to say, I did not make it here by myself. Being a teacher presented many obstacles. I was faced with various challenges, but I had my leadership team and my peers to struggle together and celebrate victories together. The demands on teachers are many, yet we are here for our students and we are pushed to be better for our students. We are striving for excellence. It is programs like the Teacher Career Pathway that will ensure we achieve it. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Jimenez. I am a KIPP alum from the class of 2014, a first-generation DACA college graduate from Texas State, and mother to my beautiful son, Santiago. At 18, I had not thought much about where I came from or how my parents' journey to a better life would affect my dreams. It wasn't until I was applying for colleges sitting in front of a computer screen and was asked for those 9 digits, my social security number. I went home and naively asked my parents what my social security number was. My parents looked at each other with anguish and hesitantly told me for the first time in my life that I was undocumented. I will never forget the look on their faces and the fear I felt in realizing that my dreams relied on these 9 digits. But I was lucky progress was being made with DACA, and my parents were keeping up with it every step of the way. I was able to apply and be granted my DACA card shortly before graduation, allowing me to work and commute from studies with much more ease. I was approaching some uncharted territory when it came to college. However, something that KIPP fostered in me that helped me, my North Star, as some may say, were their values. The value of tenacity was one that I held on to. I distinctly remember a saying we had at our high school. If you've ever been to a KIPP school, you know about the inspirational quotes that are posted everywhere. This quote was from Nana Karobi, and it read, "Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. This quote stood out to me, and I took it with me through college. You'll understand why as I tell you more about my journey. After graduating in 2014, I went to Texas State University as a non-traditional student. I was granted a full scholarship that covered tuition and books, but not room and board, which is why I had to commute from Austin on a daily basis. My first class started at 8 a.m. and my last one ended at 8 p.m. My family could not afford to purchase me a car, and so my mom took 2 hours a day to drive me to and from school. My mother, who was also working at the time, sacrificed this, among other things, to ensure that I went to and through college. By the second semester, my family was able to buy my first car, a $500 car that was worth the $500 we bought it for, and not a penny more. My first year and a half, I did not do well. The transition was an abrupt one. I was not fully immersed in the college experience and environment as a commuter and first-gen student. I struggled with studying skills and advocating for myself with professors. Living at home and being a young woman of a traditional Hispanic household, my parents didn't understand that to get involved in campus activities and have a full college experience, I had to spend more time on campus and less time at home. I had to respect their rules, which meant limiting my time on campus, the time I had to attend study groups, office hours, and making use of resources. I was also working late nights at a part-time job. These factors led to me failing my classes, being placed on academic probation, and ultimately, academic suspension. After a few of the lowest weeks of my life, I remembered that quote on the KIPP walls, "Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. I reached out to my KIPP counselor, Rosa Gutierrez, for help. Throughout my first semesters, Rosa reached out to me consistently to check on me, but I was too ashamed to share with her what was truly going on. The moment I filled her in, she stepped into action and helped me transfer to Austin Community College, where I learned about social work and fell in love with the profession. Rosa is someone that motivated and pushed me to reach for more and challenge myself. Without her direction and advice, I wouldn't have made it back to Texas State, had 2 years of internship experience with a Fortune Global 500 company, or even have the privilege of sharing my story with all of you here today. Rosa also showed her support during my first year back when I learned I was pregnant. This news, although a blessing, was a big turbulence in my life, especially with my traditional family. But again, I remembered, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. While I was pregnant, I worked part-time and attended school full-time. My son, Santiago, was born in July of 2019. The last 3 semesters at Texas State as a new mom were equally as challenging. But not only was I able to persevere through these obstacles, I received a 4.0 every semester I was back at Texas State. I was a non-traditional college student in so many ways, which made my mountain climb that much steeper. But with the tenacity that I learned from my parents and KIPP, I had the lessons I needed and shoulders to lean on to stand strong. It's because of them, supporters and believers of our mission, like all of you here today, that I had a solid ground to stand on. Thank you.
Jean, thank you so much for your incredible leadership of the Austin Regional Board. From the time I met you before the KIPP Texas merger, I have always deeply admired your care, your commitment, and love for our KIPPsters. Thank you for everything you've done for our KIPPsters in Austin and everything you will continue to do.
This message is for Jean Shepard. Thank you, Jean. And if I know you at all, these messages are probably making you uncomfortable because you're such a humble person. And so I'll make this quick. Just wanted to thank you for everything you've put into KIPP Austin Public Schools, KIPP Texas Austin, my own development, the faith you've had in me and the work of the regional board. It's just deep and it has really impacted so many people. Your leadership as the former board chair and a current board member is amazing, always has been. Your support in just connecting us to our community in stronger ways. And then just as a human to human, you've been there for me when I really needed your guidance and advice and support, and just want to thank you for that. So thank you, Jean. Thank you, Robin. Let's continue the celebrations. Appreciate it all.
Jean and Robin, thank you for the countless ways you've supported our big and little KIPPsters over the years. Thank you for sharing your passion for KIPP with your friends and colleagues, many of whom have become our board members, supporters, and advocates for KIPP. Thank you for your servant leadership. Thank you for asking all the right questions, and thank you for reminding us to center our conversation on what's best for our KIPPsters. Thank you for investing so much of your time, talent, and treasure so that we may empower our KIPPsters on their path to and through college. And thank you for encouraging others to do the same. It has been such an honor and a pleasure to work and to serve alongside the two of you.
Hey Jean, I just wanted to say on behalf of KIPP Austin, thanks so much for all of your time and contribution over these last several years. It's been a pleasure working with you both on the board and beyond with the KIPP Texas. And as we've navigated that transition, you were at the helm from the beginning, and we couldn't have done it without you. Look forward to seeing your contributions in so many other capacities in the years to come. Take care.
Hi, Jean. I am standing in front of your old house. As you can see, we sure do miss having you all here as our neighbors. Your impact on KIPP has just been tremendous. Its growth, its success could not have happened without you, and we cannot thank you enough. We sure do hope that you won't go too far, just like you haven't gone too far from the cul-de-sac. Thank you again.
Jean, I wanted to congratulate you and thank you actually for getting me involved with KIPP about 3 years ago. You've done a great job. Sorry to see you leaving the board. And before you, I think Robin also did a fantastic job. So kudos to the Shepard family for all the work you've done, for all the KIPPsters in Austin and around Texas. You're a great friend, and we will miss you dearly on the board. Take care, Jean.
Jean, thank you so much for everything that you have done for KIPP. Your time and energy and passion for what the school does and for our families has been a real inspiration and a real source of leadership to the organization. You're going to be sorely missed, but we really thank you for everything that you've done and all of your time and energy. Thank you.
Hi, Jean. This is Eric. I want to send you my appreciation for all your mentorship, for your advice, and everything that you do for the KIPP board. We're going to miss you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Jean Shepard, thank you so much. You're one of the reasons why KIPP is so wonderful.
Thank you, Jean, for your enduring support of families in our community.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Jean.